officers of the Indian Armed Forces, paramilitary forces, CAPFs, members of entrepreneurial community, budding scholars of academia, colleagues of think tanks, friends from the media, bright students from university, colleges, educational institutes, pleasantly happy to see even Army Public School, including those who have joined us online, approximately 9,000, and of course, ladies and gentlemen. It's with immense pride and a deep sense of purpose that I welcome Honorable Minister to Veer Yuva, that is Young Leaders Forum of the Indian Army's annual flagship international seminar, Chanakya Defense Dialogue 2025. As you're aware, that for the first time ever, we have the Youth Leaders Forum being held as the pre-event, especially for the youth of the country, which sets the tone for the larger theme of reform to transform, Sashakt, Surakshit, or Viksit Bharat. It's indeed a rare privilege to stand before this august gathering of India's bravest and brightest minds, present here and connected virtually across the country, who will help build the nation and inspire generations for a journey towards Viksit Bharat. Whenever I think of youth and national security, a remarkable individual comes to my mind immediately. Some of you may have heard about him. During the World War II, when the world leaders were busy devising ways to checkmate the Germans, and generals like me were engaged in conducting kinetic operations, a quiet genius cracked the uncrackable Enigma code, piercing the veil of Nazi security and turning the tide of war. His mind became the weapon that saved millions. I'll give out the name also. He was Alan Turing, merely 27 years old, a young man. India's history too has so many heroes which are testimony to the courage and conviction of its young sons and daughters. Rani Lakshmibai, Bhagat Singh, Chandrasekhar Azad, Khudiram Bose, Lance Naik, Albert Tikka, Captain Vikram Batra, Major Sandeep Unikrishnan. Timeless examples proving that age never limits contribution. In the recent Op Sindoor, many amongst you would have been actively involved, some as young military officers, some as NCC cadets, some in civil defense, some in drone labs, while some as social media warriors. With over 65% of India's population below the age of 35 and almost 50% under 25, we are a nation of youth, a country of boundless energy, ideas, creativity, and courage. Our skilled human resource is one of our greatest instruments of power. Honorable Prime Minister, during the Viksit Bharat Young Leaders Dialogue earlier this year, said, India's youth are the harbingers of a Viksit Bharat, brimming with innovation, passion, and a deep commitment to the nation's progress. The overall potential for contribution of the youth is thus well acknowledged. So let me now speak about national security and how the youth ought to be enmeshed. Chanakya's teachings remind us that the rising powers inevitably provoke countervailing coalitions. National security involves preparing for strategic balancing, deterrence, and resilience against these counter-reactions. Herein, our opportunities are immense. The demographic dividend of the world's youngest population, transformating technologies, and a strategic geography. Yet so are the challenges. Firstly, we have traditional rivalries and collusive threats leading to more than 2.5 front challenges. Secondly, terrorism, proxy war, and internal threats still persist. Thirdly, and more importantly, disinformation campaigns seek to fracture our social fabric from within. Therefore, warfare is becoming increasingly non-kinetic and non-contact. It flows through fiber cables, flickers on screens, circulates in wallets, and ripples across our classrooms. Obviously, the response demands just not armed strength, but intellectual, technological, and moral preparedness. In this era of multi-domain challenges, national security and nation building are inseparable, requiring a whole-of-nation approach, harnessing the combined resolve of governance, industry, academia, and civil society. This generation, our Gen Z, which in the morning it was a big revelation that it is the largest in the world. And though Indian Army is second largest, so Generation Z has beaten the Indian Army also. It stands at the center of this new battle space. Digitally fluent, socially aware, and globally connected. They are India's greatest strength if guided by discipline and direction. That is the melange of passion with purpose. It's this very understanding of security as a collective enterprise that the Indian Army has embarked on a decade of transformation focused on jointness with everybody, including the youth present today or connected to us. Restructuring and modernizing old structures while constantly evolving our human resources. The troika of industry, academia, and the armed forces forms the backbone of this transformation. The youth have a role in each facet of this trade, in labs, industries, startups, think tanks, and battlefields. Apart from the traditional cradles of leadership, that Sainik School, military schools, NCC, which we are well known to, the Army has now reached out to the youth through our 16 technology clusters, Indian Army cells in IITs, and also commenced in 2025 a paid Army internship program. This is because we realize that the comprehensive national power is not only built on the security circles, but also in the classrooms, communities, and consciences. We, the men and women in uniform, rely on you in all fields, including the field of technology. So today, I would like to give a call to action to our youth and will leave a few thoughts with you, gained from my own experience. Firstly, your duty, calling is what you define. What can I alone do? So you have to start today and yourself. Remember, every great change in India began with one determined citizen. Remember Padma Bhushan Anna Hazare, a one-man social reformer, incidentally an ex-soldier too. Secondly, inventions, innovations spring out of adversity. Don't get too comfortable. Don't look for too many resources. Remember, Apple is said to have been born out of a garage and Facebook from a dormitory room. Thirdly, national security is not just about soldiers at the borders. It's also about citizens and youths who refuse to be indifferent. Tashi Namgyal, an alert shepherd who passed away in December 24, was the first to detect the intruders in Kargil, which led to successful conduct of Operation Vijay by the Indian Army. Fourthly, excellence demands sweat. Every challenge has to be taken as an opportunity. When your mind asks you, why me? Reply to it, why not me? Abhimanyu entering the Chakravyuh in Mahabharata, Bhagat Singh, Mahatma Gandhi, Dr. Kalam, Metro Man Sridharan, all embodied this spirit. As Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose said, the youth of a nation are the trustees of tomorrow. Youth are the vital bridge between the nation's vision and its vigilance. Their energy, innovation, and integrity form the first line of defense in safeguarding national security. So I urge every young Indian to join the national security mission with or without the uniform, build technology, shape policy, and spread awareness. I wish you the very best for engaging discussions lies ahead. Be positive, be outcome-oriented, define problem statements, and develop solutions. We will be very happy to receive and assimilate the positive ideas of youth today. Thank you. Dhanyavad. Jai Hind.